again on Scotch and Songs. Unfortunately, we are not doing Porcupine Tree, which we had decided on last week, because there was another death in the family. We have lost Brent Hines from Mastodon in a motorcycle accident this past week. So, just like we did for Ozzy, we're going to do a memorial episode for him. Once again, I'll go through some of the housekeeping just once today because of the nature of the episode. Um, the QR code if you want to help us out. Though, unlike most episodes, I'm not going to plug that very often, if at all, after this. Um, Once again, busting out the Sweetens Cove that killed me last time.
Yeah, just be careful with that.
111 proof. Yeah, no, that is rough. I have to go gentle with that using the small glass.
We over here have a little bit of Tullamore.
That might actually end up being my next bottle on a whiskey trip. Because if I have had it, it's only been like once.
Oh, well, yeah,
But
it's
I'm thinking buy another bottle of Glenfiddich and some Tullamore Dew next time. Um, Not next Monday, but the one after, we'll be breaking down some live video of me because I've got a farmer's market gig and feel like punishing myself. Um, because I'm a glutton for punishment apparently. So we'll be critiquing my own video.
is your computer gonna make it through your own video?
It better.
Is
It won't be online. It'll be video that I've already got chopped up, not edited, just chopped up. And we'll probably do fewer songs than usual. I mean, when you popped on, I was watching YouTube and just had everything up and ready. So, should be okay.
okay.
Yeah, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's get things going here.
So, Mastodon, formed in 2000 in Atlanta, Georgia. Four-man band, which is about typical. Um, the one that we're kind of focusing on today would have been Brent Hines, their guitarist, who unfortunately passed away this past week of a motorcycle accident. Um, Drop down to awards. 2009, Best International Metal Album. They won. '07, nominated for a Grammy for Colony of Birchmen, which is on the list for tonight. Nominated, did not win. 2012, Curl of the Burl, Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock / Metal Performance, nominated, unfortunately did not win. If I'm not mistaken, that one is also on the list. High Road, also on the list, nominated in 2015. 2018, they had two. Emperor of Sand, nominated for Best Rock Album. Sultan's Curse is on the list. Won the Grammy for Best Metal Performance. And just a couple years ago, 2022, Pushing the Tides, nominated for the Grammy Best Metal Performance. Kerrang gave him 2 awards in 2009 and 2012 for Best Video and Best Album. Best Video being Oblivion, which is on the list, and Best Album, The Hunter. There's quite a number of awards here. I'm not going to go through all of them because we'd be here all night.
Sorry.
Mastodon is certainly one of those influential metal bands.
Very prominent band in the past quarter century of metal. Did you want to?
Yeah, I mean, 24 or 25 years. For a band to last 10 years is something. So it really says something if they last for 25.
And with an unchanged lineup for what, 24 years? That's
Yes. Well, even Black Sabbath lasted about 10 years with Ozzy.
And then everybody got tired of Ozzy's shit.
Well, yeah, because he was high. Motley Crue lasted about 10 years. And then Vince left. They brought in Karabi, which lasted less than 5. Unfortunately, nobody really cared for Karabi. They wanted Vince back. Which, if you get the opportunity, read or get the audiobook for The Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. I've read it a couple of times, and this past week listened to the audiobook. And that is don't know how true it is, but it's certainly something.
Right, I had a friend in college who had read it, so he had told me about some of the wilder antics in there.
Yeah. It's not like the movie they put out for The Dirt, where at one point in that movie they actually stop the movie and say, "Yeah, no, this never happened." But it's a cool story, so we're going to leave it. Uh, Blue Unicorn, bad news. Can't make it on the 6th because his noise band got booked in Denver. Hey, never apologize if you've got a gig.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
I'm just glad people are getting gigs. Well, ready to jump into some music?
Let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to start off with Blood and Thunder. Yeah, the guitar work on that is something else. And I'll admit, I'm
Oh,
not.
just wait.
Oh, I know. I am not too terribly familiar with Mastodon. I recognize the name. One of the songs I knew immediately and told Colin while I was making the list, this one is going to be on there, that being a Colony of Birchmen. But one of the things they tend to do, I don't know the actual name for it, I just call it the underlying melody, is one of my favorite guitar things. Where basically I do it a lot in drop D, but you'll be hitting, say, a D power chord, and that's constant, but you've got your melody hidden underneath that. I know they do it in Colony of Birchmen in the beginning, and that is one of my favorite guitar techniques.
Um, I've also employed this in my own writing, so yeah.
Goes back to what we were saying earlier. You'd never be able to tell we're brothers. We both like to cook and do things the hard way. I do my own pasta sauce. Cole does stocks from scratch, which I'm going to be doing that soon too. And we both have very similar guitar techniques that we like to employ. Um,
Overlapping musical tastes.
yes. Although I get a lot of my musical taste from mom, as do you, and also because I have to be like Big Brother. Big Brother's cool. I have to be like Big Brother. I incorporated some of that as well. That's why I started playing guitar.
And, well, and a lot of my own musical discoveries and influences and things have been things that I've found largely on my own or through various friends showing me. Right, so it's uh, I'm sure you do as well, but I've got a very eclectic musical uh, range.
Well, you've seen it. I can't necessarily show it on camera, but my Pandora playlist for walking to work or driving in the car or anything is very eclectic. It's everything from, oh god, Falling in Reverse, Ozzy, a little bit of rap, a lot of folk now. I don't believe in bad music. I just don't. I don't think it's a thing. Ready to move on to the next song?
Yeah.
I am going to point out we've got 10 or 11 songs on the list. Do you know how many of them actually had explicit tags?
Uh, maybe one.
One. And while making the list, I saw two.
Right, because usually there's not a whole lot of need to curse when you're talking about flying whales.
That, yes. Although, the point being, and I'm pointing it out here, but I've noticed it on a lot of the other nights that we've done it, you can go through and make a heavy metal song without a lot of profanity. Something that we've brought up
Yeah.
before. It it's seasoning. It's like salt and pepper. A little bit goes a long way.
Well, yeah, I suppose you've got a point there.
In my
Yeah,
writing,
generally,
in my writing, not a whole lot of profanity.
yeah, same.
Um, for my album, I think there are two that have any kind of profanity in them. This next one does not have an explicit tag. Number 4 does. It's fourth on the list. I'm going to call it number 5 because after this, I'm going to do Colony of Birchmen. Um,
Okay.
I really do like that one. But this would be Oblivion. The
So
the
something I want to point out that you can really make out on Oblivion, and like you can hear it in other songs, but it's really clear here. Uh, every member of the band contributes vocals.
Yes.
And you can distinctly hear uh, all three lead vocals and even the rhythm guitarist on the backing vocals during changes there. Like it's uh, really a phenomenal interplay and partnership between all the members of the band.
So it's actually not uncommon for all of the band members to contribute vocals. What is uncommon is that they are all very distinctive. For
Well,
instance,
and it's a
um,
four-piece band, three lead vocalists.
yes, um,
Like,
mentioned them earlier, but Motley Crue, they all contribute vocals.
right.
However, the only one that's actually distinguishable is Vince Neil. Guns N' Roses, it's Duff, usually, if I'm not mistaken, who contributes backing vocals. Um,
For Chili Peppers, it's for Shawnee.
yes.
It's
Avenged
also
Sevenfold.
the better vocalist.
Hey, I like Anthony Kiedis. Avenged Sevenfold. They all contribute vocals. The only one that you can actually pick out is M Shadows. With this, you can tell there are multiple vocalists. Um, but no, I think every member of the band should be able to, at the very least, provide backing vocals. At the very least, be able to harmonize. Take the lower part. Take the part that's not heard as much, but be able to do it. So, skipping around, we're going to do Colony of Birchmen next. Um, I will point out the opening guitar for Oblivion had that very discordant ring to it, which is also just a great technique.
Oblivion is one of my favorite Mastodon songs. At Steam Breather, there's a couple that are going to pop up here that, um, but just the way it's written, the way things change up, uh, you know, like I had said, the interplay between the band members, like one vocal ends and the next one picks up immediately, like it's one conversation with three
Yes.
voices, four voices, one train of thought, right? Um, anyway, I wasn't trying to distract you from playing Birchman. Sorry.
No, that's what we do is we talk about the music. In this case, we're actually staying on topic and talking about the music. Um, but Birchman has that underlying hidden melody, at least in the beginning, that I was talking about before. So I keep forgetting. Instead of just talking about it, I can. Mind you, I'm not running through pedals or anything. But instead of talking about it, I'm actually able to do it. Isn't even coming through at all. There we go. So, along those lines, where the melody is hidden underneath the chugging of that D power chord.
I'm sorry, but none of that came through.
Yeah, you'll have to watch back on YouTube because it came through on there.
Okay.
um, it could just be that Discord doesn't necessarily enjoy the Focusrite being used like that.
Hmm.
So, Discord will get to hear the unpedaled raw sound of Azrael here. And while we move on to pushing the tides, I'll put her back. But that's what I was talking about with the underlying melody. If you want to be able to hear Azrael again, you can join me if you live in northern Colorado at the Larimer County Farmers Market. I gotta stop drinking. On September 6th, so just a couple weeks away. I'll be busting out all kinds of fun stuff. If you don't live in the northern Colorado area, we'll be, once again, breaking down live video from that gig the following Monday. That way y'all can make fun of me. It's okay. I can take it. I'm a big boy. And back to Mastodon. This being...
well, in that case...
You're big brother. You're supposed to give me shit. However, this being the only one on the list that has an explicit tag, pushing the tides.
Scream. We're all part of this fucked up devastation.
So they're also really good at taking that discordant element, usually that they open up with, and making it a integral part of the song.
That's kind of a
Right?
metal thing in general, but that they are kind of notable for it. Yeah. Um, yeah, we're only 40, round up 47 minutes in. We're most of the way through our
Yeah,
list
no,
now.
we're chugging along.
Um, we also don't have anybody in the comments. By all means, especially on an episode like tonight's, feel free to chime into the comments. Um, we will respond. We'll crack jokes with you. We'll commiserate. Maybe you're a big Mastodon fan. You want to pay tribute to Mr. Hines? By all means, chime into the comments.
If there's a particular Mastodon song that you want to hear, let us know. We'll
Yes,
look it up.
I can look it up. It may be one that's on the list. It may be one that's not on the list that I have to seek out. I'm okay with that.
I had the opportunity and luck to see Mastodon once.
I unfortunately have not had chance to see too many shows. Should I get ready to take a drink?
This one was at Festival Pier in Philadelphia, and they were on the ticket with Primus.
Oh, nice.
It was All Them Witches, Mastodon, Primus.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's that's a fun lineup.
It is. For those of you who are tuning in and not in the know, anytime Cole mentions his favorite music festival, which would be, what is it, Cole?
I mean, you're setting it up now. It's Bonnaroo.
Gotta take a drink. We don't necessarily have one for me yet. Give it time.
Something something Paramore something.
I don't mention Paramore as much as you mention Bonnaroo.
Third party opinion. All right, well, crickets.
Big brother, you mention Bonnaroo at least once every episode.
Do I really though?
Yes.
Okay.
I only mention Paramore when it's relevant. Anyway, here's Steam Breather.
Well, actually, you might want to save that one, but okay.
Steam Breather by Mastodon. All right. So, Mom chimed into the comment to stop her sons from fighting, and she took Cole's side. I I'm gonna treat this like a British drive-by. I disagree. Um,
Hey, wait. Nobody got stabbed.
my phone is okay. That's fair. Um, Something I haven't mentioned. If you would like to talk to me and Cole on Discord, that is a thing you can do. Discord Drake Carter Media. Chime into the general chat. Um, at some point, we'll start incorporating the in-stream chat. Um, but you are more than welcome to join us on Discord. You might catch conversations between me and Cole outside of the stream, or you can chime in while I'm playing some random game on my computer. Assuming my computer can actually run it. We'd be more than welcome to have you. Um, every once in a while, Mom chimes into Discord as well. Never know, you might end up on stream as part of the show. If you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and give us a subscription. We enjoy it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm doing YouTuber things, and I don't like it. It makes me feel funny.
Well, that's the life, isn't it?
Yeah. Although I will say, if we were to get enough subscribers to actually monetize this and make a thing of it, we would have to change up the format a little bit so we didn't get demonetized. As it stands, we attempt not to talk during the songs. That would have to change. We'd have to be rather careful about how much of the songs we play without adding some commentary.
Mm. I feel that breaks up the ability to fully assess the work as it's intended to be
That is true.
perceived.
That's kind of the way. That's the reason why I choose to do it the way that we do it. Ooh.
I mean, you wouldn't look at a painting, but let me look at these couple square inches, turn to my buddy, talk about something. Oh, hey, look, there's a plant of some sort going on over here. Look at the next couple square inches. It seems to be growing in water. And then, a half an hour later, you finally discover that it's Monet's water lilies, right? Like,
Yes, unfortunately, with copyright, YouTube copyright rules and everything, that's the way it would have to be done. Um, at least for the most part.
well, and I get and I understand that. It's just
It, I agree
my
with
take
you.
that
I I,
interrupting
I
the
agree
artwork.
with you. Um, and if you watch a lot of song breakdown videos, what is her name? My charismatic voice. She tends to do that as well. She'll end up going back over sections and she'll break it down. If you've not heard charismatic voice break down a video, amazing vocalist, and she's unlike me, a trained vocalist, so she can tell you exactly what a person is doing, and she gets really into it. Great channel. Not sponsored.
Okay.
Something else I was thinking of. I'm going off topic to fill time. Um, while I was making up my pasta sauce, which during this next song I need to go give a good stir. Um, why don't we start doing cooking shows?
Uh, we'll have to work out logistics on setup if that's something you want to do.
Well,
But
I mean, I've got it's my webcam right now, but the GoPro, I've got my T7. We just have to get you some cameras.
yeah, because I'm pretty well anchored here.
Yeah, we'd have to figure out getting you some cameras, but no, why not? I mean, that could be a super secret thing that if you guys were to like and subscribe, we could set up a Patreon and put cooking videos on Patreon. You know what I mean? the the Discord name is Drake Carter Media because I am not just a musician. I do other things. I'm also a photographer. If you live in the area and need a wedding photographer, I'm more than capable of doing so. Please give me the excuse to get time off from working at the gas station. Yeah, my boss understands if it's something work related. And I'm gonna go ahead and play the next song and then go give my pasta sauce a stir. Um, we are just over an hour in, and we're gonna run out of songs. We're gonna have to fill some time.
Or we could just look up more Mastodon songs. There are a couple of other projects that Brent Hines was involved in, so we may be able to possibly find something from one of those. I've got two in mind to, you know, maybe search for, but they're a little obscure. Anyway,
Um,
play our next song, stir your sauce, and we can discuss this afterward.
Copy that.
I can see what the world has done to you. I can feel the way you feel.
That sauce is gonna be so damn good.
It's
So,
gonna be as good as those vocals.
and no, those vocals are something else. Although, I should point out how on point that guitar work is, especially considering that the whole reason we're doing Mastodon tonight is the unfortunate passing of Brent Hines.
So, unfortunately, a loss of an amazing talent.
Yes. Which, unfortunately, it may become kind of a thing that we do where if we lose a musician during the week, we cover him on Monday, cover them on Monday, especially if it's somebody as influential as Mastodon. Because,
Well, it's worth noting that the other three members of the band presumably could continue. That does appear to have been their intent since Hines' departure from the band. Um,
yes,
but
and I'm sure that we've mentioned it more than once. Sometimes that's not necessarily the thing to do. Um, Bradley from Sublime passed, and the members of Sublime, instead of continuing Sublime with just a different lead singer, changed it to Sublime with Rome.
well, and it took them quite some time to come back. In fact, the only reason that they really did the whole Sublime with Rome thing was uh, how much Rome sounds like Bradley.
Yes, which I'm
Well, and now Brad's son is filling in for that position, and they're back to being Sublime.
I was not aware of that.
Yep.
Um, Alice in Chains, I think, did a good job of that. They kept the same name, but got a William Duvall, who is, mind you, he's not Lane Staley, but he's again an amazing vocalist. He also doesn't try to sound like Lane Staley, whereas maybe Linkin Park should have changed their name or added a with. I can't think of her name.
And well, I mean, you've heard my opinion on this a number of times,
Yes,
and that I feel like they should have just had a rotation of guest vocalists.
you can't come close to Chester. Chester is was an amazing vocalist.
Well,
There
and then
are
not only was he working with Linkin Park, but he also uh joined NXS for their vocal duties for quite some time,
yes,
right? Which is totally not something that you would have expected.
which I have Linkin Park on the list, my list, but it's more of a Chester thing. Um, there are songs that I play just because of Chester. For instance, I very much like Adele, and I started
Okay.
playing Someone Like You because of Chester being able to bust out Rolling in the Deep. I kind of like Chester's version of Rolling in the Deep better than Adele's. Um, and Brent Smith from Shinedown does
And
a
I can just imagine Chester saying, you're gonna wish you never had met me.
And in some ways, I'm sure we all do, because now he's gone and we don't have Chester. I am not the biggest Linkin Park fan. I am a very big Chester Bennington fan. Because I can recognize an amazing vocalist when I hear one. Same with Chris Cornell and the 30 million bands that he contributed vocals for. Just an amazing vocalist with a spectacular range. Speaking of amazing vocalists, are you ready for the next song?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So, this one was not on the list that Cole sent me, but I kind of liked the name. I have not heard this one. So, while the name is Peace and Tranquility, I've got a feeling I should not expect peace and tranquility. So you may have noticed me scribbling some notes. I had to add Chris Cornell to the list. I know it's a little off topic. Do you know where Chris Cornell was originally from?
I do not actually.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay. That's not actually surprising.
So you know what that means? When we cover Arizona, we might be able to add quite a bit of Chris Cornell in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Which Arizona in general tends to have a very large metal scene. At least it did when I was growing up in Tucson. Um, I mean, you got Eyes Set to Kill, which is from Tempe or Phoenix. It's the same thing these days. Um, and quite a few other metal bands also from the same area. Although, um, I know me and Cole talked about it just a little bit. Side comment. Before the stream, we need to get more metal bands, not because a member of that band has died. If you happen to have a metal band that you would like for us to cover, chime in the comments. Let us know. Especially if it's one that we're not entirely familiar with. That would be fun.
I mean, I happen to enjoy a good variety of metal. Uh, so there's a number of obscure bands that I could dig up.
Don't say it's impossible that somebody throws up a band that you've not heard, because I've got Kokeshi on my list as well, which came from the Music Discovery. We had a commenter chime in, um, which was the precursor to Scotch and Songs. Chimed in, gave us that suggestion. We looked it up. Kokeshi is a Japanese metal band that is fantastic. We both kind of fell in love with that one almost immediately.
And completely genre defying. They don't stick to any one particular subsect of metal. They everything in one song.
Yes, with a very heavy Japanese horror influence. Um, we need to cover Kokeshi as well. I've looked them up on Pandora. I cannot find them on Pandora. Um, so going off my list, Kokeshi, and it's rather high up on my list, but the Pacific Islands, Hawaii, and such may have to wait until I get the new computer built. Because I know one particular artist is not on Pandora that I want to cover for the Pacific Islands. Bueia, who is a very comedic Hawaiian artist. He takes Mr. Sandman, makes it the Manapua Man. Um, Manapua being a Japanese or a Hawaiian street food. I
Okay,
really want to go to Hawaii and try some of the Hawaiian cuisine because there's things that you can't get in the continental
elsewhere.
states. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like getting a cheesesteak. You can only get a real cheesesteak in Philly.
I need to go to Philly to get a real cheesesteak, but while I'm there, kind of have to go to New York and get real pizza.
There's a number of places that will argue you on that one.
By all means, argue with me. Do it in the comments.
Says Quiet Riot in response to metal bands.
Yes. Um, Quiet Riot. We have not covered Rat. Have to cover Rat. Um, which I mean, we could do a whole genre episode on hair metal. We could do an episode on Motley Crue or any particular member because pretty much all of the members of Motley Crue have done solo or other projects. If we were to do a Motley Crue episode, we could even pull in some very carefully selected scenes from The Dirt.
Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden.
Yes. You can't call yourself a metal fan without saying Iron Maiden. We could pull up a pompous artist list and have Dave Mustaine fill most of the list. Um,
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on.
it,
You're
you,
not wrong, but there is room for more.
okay. How do you get kicked out of Metallica for being too much of a dick? For legal reasons, that is a joke. I am joking.
But to to be fair, Mustaine did heavily write a large part of actually both of those first two albums.
But you're not disreputing the fact that he's kind of a dick.
Uh, not as much as Axl Rose.
That is fair. No. No.
And and on Mustaine's own music, he uh even references himself as being megalomaniacal. So like he's aware that he was let's say at least partially to blame for the things that happened here. There.
Okay. Here's an episode idea. Artists disciplining the crowd. Be it good or bad.
Right. So I've got a Primus clip in mind. I've got a Tool clip in mind. Um,
I've got a Megadeth clip in mind. I've got a Dave Grohl clip in mind.
oh, okay. I can see it.
You don't fight at my show. You come to my show, you fucking dance. That is a direct quote, profanity included. That's actually a rather long list. I watched a video on this not that long ago. I want to say it was like Watch Mojo or Kerrang, something like that. But they broke down. I mean, Kiss was on that. That there were people shining fucking laser pointers at the band. So that was a thing for a while. We could show Bieber getting hit in the head with a water bottle and crying.
Can we get a clip of Shaggy Two Dope trying to drop kick Fred Durst off the stage?
I will find the clip.
It's not exactly, artist disciplining the crowd, but
It's Fred Durst. He is the crowd.
why can't we live in the timeline where Shaggy Two Dope was successful in kicking Fred Durst off the stage?
Discipline the audience. Mom says Goo Goo Dolls. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that up. She also mentioned hair bands, Cinderella. We've played them once. We could go back to Cinderella. I like Cinderella. Poison, Alice Cooper, Bon Jovi. We may or may not have mentioned Bon Jovi earlier. You know, for when
Uh,
we cover New Jersey.
I'm I'm not sure we were live yet when we were talking about that.
No, we were not. Because there's something else about Jersey Night that I am not going to mention more than being vague.
Uh, Apparently, as we learned last week, it's more than just Bon Jovi and Springsteen.
I'm still not entirely sure on that. That might be
Right. Well,
all.
thank you, scientist.
uh, I'm still not entirely sure that New Jersey actually exists. I think it's just North New York.
Uh, right. I mean, I work in Jersey, and I'm pretty sure it's not New York yet.
New York Light. Same great taste as regular New York. Half the calories. Anyway, here's the next song. That song ended a little bit quicker than I expected. Sorry about that. I'm texting a couple of friends. Um, Mom said we got lost in New York and ended up in New Jersey.
Jersey.
That might be a just Scotch Part Two story. Um,
Uh, that very well sounds like it could be.
Speaking of which, Mom, you got to try and keep Dad awake for that one so he can chime in as well. Our our father is a very good storyteller, and some of the family stories coming from Dad would be very entertaining. So we have two more Mastodon songs on the list. What are you thinking, Cole? You want to find some other of his projects?
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's two that come to mind. I mean,
Okay.
there's a number, but I don't know if you'll be able to find them. So, uh, Legend of the Seagull Men, which is a group that he was in with Danny Carey. Hey, look at that.
It happens to be on here. A
Now, I
lot.
know literally none of what's going on here. So,
I'm seeing a
huh.
lot more explicit tags. Okay, I see one. I'm curious. Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver.
I was gonna say take the Orca, but yeah,
That works
that's
too. I am absolutely not familiar with this.
nope, no idea.
He's black and he's white.
So I had to look it up, right?
I,
Danny Carey,
I will say the orca sounds at the end of that. All right, come on now.
Danny Carey of Tool, who's probably the one supplying the orca sounds as well, right? Brent Hines of Mastodon, director Jimmy Hayward, Jonah Hex, Horton Hears a Who, on guitar, Pete Griffin of Zappa Plays Zappa and Death Clock on bass, and David Dreyer, vocalist, synth player Chris Giovanni.
Okay.
So pretty wild,
Super group, yeah.
Tool, Mastodon, Death Clock. Um,
To be honest, those orca sounds sounded a lot like guitar slides.
yeah, that could be true too. I don't know, with DC, you never know.
Yeah. Which I don't have Tool on the list. I should. Matter of fact.
Yeah, I had not officially put them on the list because I knew we'd get there eventually.
Yeah. So, do you want to know how you're? Do you want to know how you're old? When things like
Uh,
pens, when things like pens excite you.
I assumed this was going to involve Tool albums somehow, but yeah, okay.
So,
When
I I ended up going out and buying very particular pens. They're the only ones I use. I've got one on my desk. I keep one in my hoodie that I take to work. For a while, I had one at work, but somebody either stole or threw it out. But I am very particular. I use a .5 pen. .05. And I was super excited when I first bought this pen.
uh I understand. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're old. It could just mean that you write a lot.
That's the thing. I really don't anymore.
All right, well, then in that case, if you have a favorite pen, yeah, you're probably old.
I certainly feel it every morning when I wake up. Um, you want to play another Siegelman song? You want to find another project that he did?
Right. I mean, if you want to do Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver because that one struck your attention, go for it. Um, the other one I think is gonna be probably harder to find, but who knows?
So what I'm gonna do? Add that one to the Mastodon playlist.
Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
Giraffe Tongue Orchestra. So while he's looking for that, Giraffe Tongue Orchestra is an American supergroup consisting of members of Alice in Chains, Dillinger Escape Plan, the Mars Volta, again Pete Griffin of Death Clock and Zappa Plays Zappa. Also, at one point, Brent Hines was in it.
Oh God,
Um,
I can't spell for heck for shit.
there was a point at which Juliette Lewis was the vocalist. Um, there have been a number of members rotating in and out of this band. Currently, William Duvall, Ben Weinman, Pete Griffin, Thomas Pridgeon of Mars Volta, and a couple of other things. Um, Also, John Theodore had previously been in there, another former Mars Volta drummer. Uh,
I can't spell for shit. I've been drinking.
Tongue.
That would be why.
Tongue, not tunge.
Don't make fun of me. I've been drinking.
Uh, as your older brother, I am legally and morally obligated to make fun of you.
Shut up.
Contractually obligated, in fact.
Hey, look
There you
at
go.
that.
I'm surprised.
So am I.
Now I know even less about what's going on here. So
All right, who came from Alice in Chains?
Duval.
I was getting ready to say I recognize the person standing in the middle there, which they can't
So you've
see.
got Duval. Duval Hines is the redhead with the beard and the tattoo, uh, the facial tattoo there from his forehead to his jaw. Um, and who else is in here? Uh, and Weinman of Dillinger Escape Plan.
All right, I see the one that piques my interest. Uh, Mom sent a video to me of Goo Goo Dolls stopping the concert to help a fan, which I
Oh,
love watching those videos. Any particular one that catches your interest?
uh, scroll back up to the top. All right. Go down so I can see the whole list. Um, I take Blood Moon.
Blood Moon. All right, and I'm going to. I
Can't add it to the playlist.
That is interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Ah,
Only available for radio playback. Interesting.
and that is unfortunately all of their songs.
Well,
Okay.
so I guess audience, your homework, if you've liked what you've heard out of Brent
Nope.
Hines' other projects tonight.
We're going to cheat. All right. So as I said, we're going to cheat.
We're gonna cheat.
It says it is only available for radio playback. I don't care about modes on Pandora. I just added this particular station. I can't rewind it. To my collection. It's got William Duvall in it. Again, he is the one who has, I'm not going to say replaced, um taken over for Lane Staley, because Lane Staley has not been with us for a while. And during this song, I'm actually going to look up when he did it, because if I can find the anniversary of Lane Staley's passing, that's the date that we'll do, or the closest Monday to it, that we'll do Alice in Chains.
April 5th.
In the spring. Okay. So now you've got something to look forward to in the spring. Hey. Along with Chester Bennington, which was July of 2017, and Chris Cornell, which was May of 2017. Imagine that, two friends that passed relatively close to each other. But Pandora didn't want to let me select a song, so I collected the stations so that we can listen to Giraffe Tongue Orchestra. Unfortunately, it means we don't get to pick the song. It is
Oops.
Adapt or Die. I'm gonna go ahead and play the song.
Okay.
We walk the left-hand path to our date with destiny. The only certainty now is no security. No fault, no pride, no wrong, no right. From flight to fight. Sick of our prison answer, short money, sleepless nights. Now we want out from under to wreck the morning light. The wolves are at the door. We will not be denied. A simple choice, adapt or die. Now's not a run. Now's not a hide. I hope you're not asleep, 'cause here comes the high tide. Our home is God-forsaken, so we kill what we need. No count of losses taken, both sides were made to bleed. No fault, no pride, no wrong, no right. From flight to fight. The wolves are at the door. We will not be denied. A simple choice, adapt or
It could just be that I like William Duvall, but I very much enjoyed that. They should have more than 22 monthly listeners.
Uh, I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
It
Perhaps
it
some of it is
was
just because of
it wasn't as heavy as Mastodon or
right.
as seemingly obscure as the Seagullman. It was a bit more radio rock, but I think that William Duvall fits perfectly into that radio rock category when it comes to a vocalist. Do you want me to hit next song? See if we get another.
I mean, it's actually getting kind of late. If you want to go back to the Mastodon playlist and wrap up the night. But I'm interested in more. Giraffe Tongue Orchestra there. And Siegelman.
Yes. Well, we got 3 now songs on the list. We have played more songs this week than usual. We've been kind of rapid
Yeah, we
fire.
stayed on track too.
Despite my
Surprising.
best efforts otherwise, because let's be honest, we've got 2 hours to fill. So, 1, 2, or 3.
Right. Well, there's Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver. Uh, you had said you were curious about that one, or if you want to save that till the end, that's understandable. Otherwise, we got 2 other Mastodon songs on there.
For the record, that would be the drinking game. Every time I give you a set list of numbers to pick from to choose the next song. Once again, your choice, dealer's choice, 1, 2, or 3.
Uh, let's go with number 1.
All right, Divinations. Back to Mastodon. Just cutting in. Great choice.
So a thing that we didn't talk about uh was you know, prior to joining Mastodon, Brent Hines was a country guitar player.
I was
That
getting
was
ready.
that was
I was.
how he learned and actually banjo,
It's funny
and
you
then
should.
translated that and then started playing in Mastodon.
It's kind of amazing. You know what instrument just screams metal?
Banjo.
This one right
Yeah.
here. I will admit that caught me a little off guard. Speaking of which, I happen to own a banjo, or have access to one. I can't necessarily say that I own it. Um, and I am still trying to figure out how to properly play this. It's one that I have not picked up off the wall enough. Ever since I started getting more into folk, I've started to realize I actually enjoy the sound of a banjo. But they are rather complicated to play. Open G tuning, typically. So, which I know you can't hear, but this one is also out of tune, so thank God. Um, maybe I've got a friend or two that can help me get this thing in tune, along with a mandolin that's hanging off the wall, and we can figure out a way to properly mic this so it can be heard. The mandolin is acoustic electric. It has a pickup. This banjo does not, unfortunately. But the banjo caught me off guard. All right, we got time for one more song. Heads or tails?
uh Tails.
Seagullman.
All right.
This is the Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver.
From the day that they walked from the ocean floor, on the eve of his wedding, it was hard to ignore.
I do love it when metal bands incorporate that orchestra.
Yep, it's a good feel.
It really is. And the fact that orchestra fits so well into, I mean, a lot of metal bands have done it. It says a lot for how versatile orchestras and metal bands are.
Uh, yeah, I mean, just because it's metal doesn't mean it has to be crunchy guitars and grumbly bass.
Yes.
Um, there's a number of composers, like, you know, famous classical composers that arguably could be. There's a number of metal ones too, modern ones too, that arguably could be metal.
Well, there is a band that I won't say the name of. I don't want to get sued by Lars Ulrich. That very famously incorporated a metal band into some of their songs, and that, in my opinion, is typically the better version of their songs.
Um, there's also a band out there that's a metal band that uses entirely string quartet instruments, namely cello.
I'm thinking Apocalyptica or
Yeah.
Apocalyptico. I don't remember which because I've been drinking. Um, which yes, and they had some amazing vocalists and don't get nearly enough recognition. I might actually be adding them to the list right now.
Look at that. I keep giving him ideas. We are planning to
I
next year.
we have enough on my list to get us into next century. Never a shortage of ideas on the Scotch and Songs podcast. Thank you for joining us this week. Unfortunately, it's been a rather somber episode because we are celebrating the passing of Mr. Brent Hines of Mastodon and the Giraffe Tongue Orchestra and Legend of the Seagullman. Oh god, if I was to take all of this as a shot, I would die. But for Mr. Brent Hines, give me a second. The Afterlife's house band has gained another prominent guitarist. That's a rather large house band, unfortunately. And we will certainly be covering more members of that as we go, along with vocalists and drummers and bassists and.
It certainly seems like there's some sort of project in the works. Ozzy, Brent Hines.
Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, the legendary Mr. Jim Morrison. Just to name a few. Thank you for joining us once again on the Scotch and Songs podcast. This week we had Porcupine Tree planned. You still want to do that next week?
Yeah, we can pick it up next week.
All right. Assuming no other prominent, influential musicians pass away in the next week,
Yeah,
Um,
let's
let's hope not.
let's
We'll be covering Porcupine Tree. Cole, if you want to send me a list of songs for that one, because that's another band
I do.
where I'm not entirely familiar with their music. I recognize the name, couldn't name a song. I hate doing it on memorial episodes, but the QR code next to Cole, if you want to help us it financially, it could be building my new computer so that we can add videos to this, or it could be getting Cole a couple of cameras so we can start filming cooking shows. We might need to get him a microphone as well. It could
Right. Well,
be feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you like what we do, or if you're on Twitch because we simultaneously stream to both. Um, Subscribe, and we will catch you next week for Porcupine Tree. Big brother, anything you want to say before we head off?
uh, just for anybody who's tuning in for Porcupine Tree next week, keep an open mind. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be multiple difference.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We don't discriminate on the Scotch and Songs podcast. We will see you next week.